Hey friends, welcome into my channel. My name is Jackie Alves, and today we're going to be talking about all kinds of liners. Lip liners and eyeliners and tight liners, oh my. And don't forget those water liners. We're going to talk about waterproof liners. We're going to talk about smudge proof and liquid liners. And I'm not only going to talk about them, I'm going to show you how to use almost all of these. You guys are going to have so much fun today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and stick around because you're going to learn new ways to get a great wing, a beautiful overlined lip, and I know you're gonna love it. So hang tight and I'll meet you on the flip side. All right, let's get it. Right now I have my lactic acid face serum. I'm gonna slap a little bit of that on. This is that one by Jafra Cosmetics that I love. I use it a lot right before foundation, especially if I'm using a matte foundation. I'll even use it as a primer, but it's great for dehydrated skin. Not oily for dry skin, but good for dehydrated skin, which I tend to look like I have pretty often. So I'm going to start a little bit of skin prep, but I want you to see I'm putting it on my lips, I'm getting it on my eyelids, and that's going to really help when I get to the lip line because the skin prep is important, not just on the whole face, like in conjunction with a great foundation, but don't forget the lip prep. Even use a lip scrub if you like that, okay? Now, I'm gonna use a new primer that I got. I've been using this for, I don't know, a couple weeks now. I really love this by LimeLife. It's a spray-on primer. And I love it because I'm getting it on my eyelids. I'm getting it on my lips. And it's a nice kind of, like mist. It's super fine, you guys. So you're really gonna love using something like a spray-on primer because like I said, I'm getting it on my lips and that's gonna help with the lip line, with the eyeliner. I can't always just rub the primer right on my eyes, but this spray mist primer really does get it everywhere. Super helpful. All right, so now I'm gonna go into my foundation, and right now I'm using the Royal Radiance foundation by Jafra. This is just a nice dewy finish. It's like a medium coverage, and I'm using the shade Bare. I really like it because it's kind of on the warm side, which you know how I feel about that. It cancels out all that stinking redness in my skin. So let's go ahead and get some of this on right through the middle, and I'll work it down my neck a little bit like I do because, like, you know, all the discoloration. So let's get that done. Okay, just finishing up the foundation right now. The last little bit right on my eyelids. You know I don't put too much underneath. We go back later with concealer, but right on those eyelids, super important. It's gonna help hold product longer. It's really great if you're trying to get a good eyeliner to last a long time, that you base it correctly. So a little bit on the lips too, but just a little bit. This brush was almost dry. You know, especially if you've got some hairs or some lines on the lips, you want to be careful at this point, not put too much dang product. I swear, those mustaches and beards just don't want to get out of here. I was telling my doctor the other day, I went in to have my blood work done, and she was like, well, your testosterone is just a little bit high. And I was like, I know, I'm growing a full beard here. I'm going to start being a pirate from now on. You just call me Makeup Beard the Pirate. She was like, okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set with just a little bit of translucent powder. This is a new translucent I got from LimeLife. Good friends of mine sent me some beautiful products. So I'm just gonna quickly go right through the middle, lightly. But when I'm using a nice lightweight translucent like this, I will go ahead and go on my lips, just a little bit, you guys. This is a very fluffy brush. It doesn't hold a ton of product. You saw me tap it. And then just a little bit right on the eyelids. Nothing underneath the eyes, okay? I don't like to cake and bake myself. Too old for that nonsense. Way too old for that nonsense. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick powder contour, blush, a little bit of eyeshadow. So, with the powder contour, I'm just gonna use my good old Beauty Bar contour palette. You guys have seen me use this a million times. And you can use whatever powder contour you like. You can even use bronzer at this point if that's what you wanna do. But I'm just setting up, you know, a nice little foundation so that when I get to those lines, those lip lines and eye lines that we're gonna be doing and talking about, quite the hot topic, by the way, but when I get to those lines, you know, I'll have a nice little base of everything ready to go so that my eyeline and lip line are just accents and definition. You can tell I'm intense today because I'm just talking with my hands a lot for some reason today. All right, just a nice little glow up right here under the cheeks to give a little bit of lift and contour. Easy peasy. And we'll do the forehead a little bit. I'll finish up right under here, accentuating my jawline. My husband got on the scale this morning and he was like, Christmas weight. And I was like, yeah, me too. So I'm gonna be sculpting this out quite a bit today. All right, I'm hopping in with just a super light, real kind of a nude pink blush. It's just gonna add a little bit of a nice, I don't know, like a healthy little pink glow right on top of that contour. And I'll probably go back in after concealer and just double stack it up a little bit to add a little more pop. But that's a pretty nice little nude pink. Let's get into some easy eyeshadow, but I wanna talk about why it's important with your eyeliner. I never ever wanna do eyeliner just on a naked lid. It's just not gonna last. It's the same as kind of when I do primer, foundation, and powder, and then that helps contour and blush last, pop, all of those things. Everything just really works together. You know, I always say, trust the process, and this is a great process. So a light eyeliner is what I wanna start with, a light eyeshadow, because I wanna pop my eyeliner. So I'm gonna like give that light canvas. Look at me coming in really close. Hey friend. So really light cream colored eyeshadow, making sure I have a good amount on that inner corner, you guys. All right, and just getting the entire eyelid now, but real important to get the bottom. And this is a matte. Okay, I typically don't like to start with a shimmer on bottom and then do an eyeliner over it because it kind of makes my eyeliner seem a little transparent. It makes it look a little like hollow, kind of like see-through, if you get shimmer underneath it. So I like to start with a matte first. Now, if this is all you want to do, say you don't want any other eyeshadow and you really want to focus and pop like, you know, wing liner, like a pinup look or something, that's okay to do that. But I recommend you always start with at least one base eyeshadow, regardless of what look you're going for. And of course, if you have a deeper skin tone, you can go with something that's closer to your skin tone if you prefer it to look nude. Now I'm gonna go in with this nice pink shade, because obviously my shirt's got that kind of salmon pink, dusty raspberry. I don't even know what you call this color. Please type in the comments what you think this shade is. It would be very helpful because I don't know what it is. Okay, and I'm just keeping that shade darker on the outside, of course, bringing it up towards the brow. I don't want it to get lost when I open my eye and then hooded lid. Oh, where's my eyeshadow? So I'm just bringing it up, but I'm keeping it soft because I'm really gonna focus on that eyeliner today. But still, I want the depth in the crease, okay? Come over to the other side. All right, bringing it up towards the brow. All right, I've got that lightweight blend on top. I'll go to my like chocolate brown here. And I'm just gonna use a little powder underneath. I still want definition underneath. You don't have to do this if you don't like, but I feel like it does make my eye look so much larger if I can get just some soft definition under in the lash line. So this is just a smaller eyeshadow brush, just running that powder right under my eye. Now, if you feel like you get all crazy with it and it gets out of the lines, or, you know, if you go out of bounds with it, don't worry, because we're gonna do concealer later, so you can clean it up, you can skinny it up, whatever you wanna do. Just real soft on the other side. All right, so I've got that done pretty good. Now, I'm going to bring some of that dark chocolate around to the top. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna add a little bit of depth, but then my eyeliner doesn't have to work as hard. I'll show you what I mean. So just a little bit of this brown eyeshadow that I used on bottom. And really fade it into your crease. Just real soft. And since this is a smaller brush, sometimes it's, you know, you can be like, oh, that's too defined of a line. You know, I want it to be softer. Just take some of the crease shade that you used and just make sure to blend it in real nice. Keeping all of the eyeshadow and all of those different pigments really soft is super key at this point because we really want to focus on that eyeliner. Okay, so I'll bring the top, just the outer corner right at the lash line, fade it in to the crease, really nice and soft. This is just adding a tiny bit of definition. So don't feel like you have to get it perfect. You're not trying to create a wing liner or anything crazy, just a little bit of smokiness at that lash line. Making sure it's blended well to the best of my ability. Can't hardly see right now. All right, looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and darken up my eyebrows with some brow powder, so give me a quick minute. All right, eyebrows done, and we are now to eyeliner. So, I have a couple different things to talk about today. Like I said earlier, I've got this double-sided eyeliner, super smudge-proof, like really deep brown, blackish brown on one side, nude on the other. I've got my brown roll-up from Revant Cosmetics that I love. And then I, of course, have my liquid liner. I love this little Inkwell by Jafra Cosmetics. So we're gonna talk about those, and we're gonna talk about ways to give it kind of a smoky effect, just in case you're like me and you can't get it perfect. So I'm gonna not use the brown one. I did just wanna let you know that if you prefer brown, that is perfectly fine. You can do the exact same thing I'm doing with brown, with blue, with fluorescent green eyeliner if you like. So it's not really about the color, okay? It's really more about technique that I'm gonna show you today. So I'm gonna use this one. It's a sharpening pencil. Let me make sure we're good and sharp. Let me get my pencil sharpener. Okay, not super sharp, but I've got it good enough it can make a little point, okay? So right on my outer corner, you guys know I love that fat triangle technique. So I'm gonna come close for you. Check this out, right on the outer corner. Just making a slobby little triangle, no big deal. But I'm not trying to make a big wing, just a tiny triangle is the goal right now. All the way down to the lash line and then make it disappear. Halfway over, it really starts to fade into the lash line. All right, I hope you can see that is not perfect. I bet you can. I bet you can see it's not perfect. It's hilarious to me how many people will watch these videos and they love to chime in and have nothing good to say except, that looks sloppy. I'm like, I know, trust the process, eh? It's so weird. People are so weird sometimes, you guys. All right, I'm gonna do this side. Fat triangle. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is a really nice, like, smudgy liner, but it does have some stay power to it. Now I want you to see how I'm kind of going straight across. Let me come in. So I'm not trying to like get it to flick up and make a little wing. Just a fat triangle. And now coming this way, now I'll flip it this way to make it just run right across my lash line. Now, obviously I'm right-handed, and I don't know if you noticed, I have these ways. So if you're like me and your hand isn't super steady, like you don't want to hover out here because, you know, it might get kind of crooked. Sometimes you may want to steady your hand if you're just using your bathroom mirror. It's a little easier. I'm using another hand mirror, so sometimes I'll just be a little weird like that. Whatever works for you. And if you feel like you're going to join the circus because you're not a contortionist, go for it. All right, so let me put the lid back on that quickly, because with those gel liners, that's what this is, kind of like a gel formula. Man, they dry out pretty quick. But, you know, say you're like me and you didn't get it super even and you want something to be nice and smoky. That really helps, you know, if you're not great at getting that perfect line. So just smoke it out. Make it look like you did it on purpose. So I'm gonna grab a nice black eyeshadow. You can use a chocolate brown at this point. You don't have to be as bold with the black if you don't like to. And, you know, all the people that are out there that say, oh, don't use the black eyeliner, it makes you look old. I've been saying I don't think eyeliner can make me look any older than I already look. I think being grouchy and rude to people can make you look really old. But eyeliner does not have that much power in my life. I'm just saying. So let me grab my magnifying mirror. I have a tiny little brush. You can use a slant smudge brush if you prefer, but I'm gonna use this little bit of a rounded one, and I'm gonna get into just a couple of dips into that black eyeshadow. It's a nice matte black, and I'm just gonna go right on top. Another reason I didn't do concealer underneath, because I might get a few sprinkles from this. So I'm using that black eyeshadow to smudge my black eyeliner and soften it up. I'm not looking for a perfect wing at this point. This also helps set your eyeliner a little bit, so keeps it from smudging so quickly, helps it to last longer. There we go. So I've just smoked it, made it kind of like a faded line. So that's one simple way to get a nice little eyeliner. I'll go ahead and do the other side now. Let me come in close to you again. Right on top. It's like we're just trying to smudge the defined part out. Especially if you got it a little bit sloppy, this really will smudge it and make it look like you did it on purpose. All right. Nice and smoky. Nice and smoky. All right, but what if you wanted something more defined, right? And what if you want a wing liner, but you're just not great at it? Well, don't start from scratch. Start with a little bit of a pencil liner, get your fat triangle in there. You don't have to do the powder part at this point. I'm gonna go over it just because I'm showing you a process. I'm showing you a few different steps. But if you're not great at creating that wing from scratch, go ahead and start with your pencil liner. Get a little bit of like a guide or like a cheat sheet going on, and then take your liquid. I just scrape it on the sides just a little bit so it's not super wet. And then I can get in and follow the lines. And sharpen it up. Dun, 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 dun. And then fill it in. What do you think of that? Not perfect, right? But not bad. Not bad for, you know, 51-year-old glasses wearing girl, right? You guys know how my vision is. That's pretty dang good, I must say. I'll do the other side real quick. It of course will be thicker and not as good as the other side, because that's how eyeliner is, right? The first one is always perfect. It's getting the second one to match that'll make you go crazy. There we go. All right, let me get my mirror that magnifies just a little bit more, and I'll try to even these suckers up. Okay, switch magnifying mirrors. This one is super magnifying. All right, and I'm just sharpening up my point a little bit. Get in here. But because I already got in there with that pencil and a little bit of powder, it's not quite as obvious. I know it may be to you because you're in my grill right now, but I guarantee you when I get some mascara and some lashes on, get my hair done and my lips done, it's not gonna be quite as obvious that they're not perfect. So I want you to know that, and I want you to see that so that you understand it doesn't have to be perfect all the time. We are real chicks, we live in a real world, and we have real obstacles like vision, hands that aren't steady, all kinds of things, right? What happens when your grandkids are beating on the door saying they want a grilled cheese sandwich? You gotta hurry. Your wings might not be perfect, but I'm pretty satisfied. I'm pretty okay with how these turned out. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into mascara. We're gonna do a false lash, and let's get to those lips. I did just put my glasses on to double check so I could make sure I was at least sort of even. And I did notice I'm missing a little bit right here. So I'm just gonna go back to the pencil. I'm not even gonna try to fix it with the liquid because then I can get it thick. And you know, sometimes that's a disaster. So I'm just gonna take my pencil and just fill it in a little bit. I just wanted to show you that mistakes are real and we can't get it perfect every time. So just a little fill in right on top of the liquid really is helpful, and it's a great little cheat way to get that wing to look even more perfect. All right, I've got my mascara on. Let's do a little bit of concealer cleanup. So I'm gonna use my liquid concealer here. You can use whatever brand you love, but when I do this technique with liquid concealer, I do, of course, love to add that eye serum in. You guys see me do this all the time. I like it because the eye serum helps it stay looking luminous. It really helps keep the creasing at a minimum, but it also is a caffeinated eye serum that is one of my favorite things ever to put under my eyes. So I'm just mixing them together on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna go in and just pop a little here. Oh, geez, wrong mirror. I could like see into my brain with that one. All right, I'm gonna pop a little here and here. And that caffeinated eye serum is so great for puffiness. It just feels so good. I can't not use it. Like, I try other stuff, and I use other stuff for my clients here at the beauty bar, you know, whatever the occasion calls for. But this eye serum mixed in has really been the saving grace. It's just, it's the thing that, it's my number one hack of 2025. How's that? And as we roll into 2026, it's gonna be a number one under eye hack. It just is. All right, I've got a good amount under there. Now I can slice up my eyeliner, use a smaller, skinnier brush if you really need to get detailed in there. Like maybe you messed up your eyeliner pretty good and you're like, well, crap, I need to really straighten that up. That's okay, this step is great for that. And I just got a little bit fatter, fluffier brush because I want to diffuse it into my blush. God, that feels so much better. My eyes are really bugging me today. And swoop it up. Pat it in, nice and bright under the eyes. Look at that, you guys, come on. This is amazing. You have to try this trick if you haven't, but you know what? I think like probably 75% of you already have that eye serum and already love this trick. I know so many of us are like, yes, I have that serum and it's my favorite thing. It's just, it really has saved the day under my eyes. So let's get into some lashes because I really love this kind of a wing with a lash on top. Now, if you don't like lashes, it's okay, no sweat. But I'm gonna use my Kiss Naked Lashes today. These are the number 420 that I love, love, love. Look how small they are. There's one set left on this card, but check these out. They're so tiny and cute. But they really just will add some depth and volume to your lashes without making you look like you've got crazy lashes. And they're so lightweight because they have this Invisiband on them. I've used these so much lately, it's crazy. So let's peel these off, get them cut down to size and get them slapped on, and you're gonna love the way this looks. All right, I've got my first lash on, and now I'm gonna do the second one so you can see I trimmed about 1/3 of that lash off of the band because it was too long for my eyelid, and I just like to focus on the outer corner area of my eyelid. So let's get this little tiny dude in here. Make sure that glue is pretty tacky. Just focus on the outer corner and plop it on there. I like to use my little lash tool, but you can certainly use your fingers if you prefer. I have quite a few friends that cannot stand using the lash tool, and that's okay. But if you want to give this a try, I just get these on Amazon. And you can get, you know, a little bundle of 3 or so, or just one of them. They don't have to be expensive. Okay, and I can see where I've got a little kind of some spots from my mascara, which is no big deal because now that it's dry, I can go back in and just sweep it away gently. And then go in with my black eyeshadow that I was using before and use that tiny brush and just touch up that line. So let me do that real quick. Tiny, tiny eyeshadow brush. Just gonna smudge that out right there. Soften up any mistakes I have or unevenness. And so that's how I've got a pretty bold wing going on. Now definitely you can do that much thinner on a smaller scale than what I did. You can do it with brown. You could even do it with a beautiful navy blue. This is a great technique for getting a good, strong, bold wing, but don't forget, the first one I showed you was just that pencil fat triangle. That one's really easy to do and leave it all on its own. So you've got a build up here where you can get a nice, fat, bold wing that's gonna show up even in a hooded lid, which I love. I love this beautiful, glamorous wing and lash put together. But you know, even at that, if you wanna go back in and do your tight line, you can do that too. You can take the nude and do the waterline if you like that, or you can do black on the tight line and the waterline both if you prefer. But I really do like to go in and kind of close this off, so you can't see the flesh tone in there. And then go ahead and bring it all the way over and do the other side. And you can see it really closes that off. It just gives a more finished look to the liner and the lash. So I hope you like that, and I hope you give it a try. Let's get over to the lips now. I'm gonna go ahead and back blend my blush just a little bit, since we brought that concealer down. And at this point, you can add a little highlighter on your cheeks and nose if you like that. However you like to do that part is up to you. But right now, let's get some lip products together. All right, I've got a few of my favorite lip liners here. I've got one that is called Blushing, and it's a really nice pink shade. It's a warm pink from Jafra Cosmetics, and Nutmeg. That's a real nice neutral. They're both roll-up lip liners, and they are a matte formula, which I love because if you can get a good buildup of the product, they won't bleed and feather like regular lip liners. So I get a lot of questions about this. How do you keep it from bleeding or feathering? How do you get it to stay? You guys, I love this formula, but I'm gonna show you a trick you can do with it because I have ladies that come in and they have some really deep lines that it's really hard to even get the lip liner in there, let alone keep it from bleeding. So getting that good, even coat is really important in making it last, okay? So I'm gonna use blushing today just because of what I'm wearing, but I want to use a pencil liner. So I've got a beautiful raisin shade. This is called Los Angeles by NYX. I love mixing this one sometimes if I want a little bit deeper shade. But today I'm gonna keep it on the nude side. So I'm gonna use that blushing first, and then I'm gonna go in with a shade. This is a sharpening lip liner. So you can get it very sharp. It's much harder. It feels a little more waxy, not as creamy as this one. But I like to get it good and sharp, and it's nude. And then I go in and I drag that lip liner through and get it into the cracks. This is my trick for my ladies with very deep lines in their lips. It helps really get it in there. And I have them go like this. Or I tell them, go like this, like you don't have any teeth. And they're like, oh, like this. So the crazier the face, the better the makeup, you guys. But then we're gonna just get into the cracks with this, okay? And let me make sure we've got everything that we need. Indeed, we do. I'm gonna go back over my lips with my foundation brush quickly, just to make sure everything is copacetic, just with that dry foundation brush, quickly right over the top. All right, now I have that blushing lip liner, and like I said, it's really creamy, and it's a roll up, so it doesn't get very sharp. You know, you just keep rolling it up, but then it's got like a rounded tip on it that doesn't get super sharp and pointy, but the formula of these roll ups, especially the matte ones, is just really next level. So I like to use it. So watch what happens. I will start on the bottom. You can start top or bottom, but when I've got this real creamy one, I like to start on bottom. And I'm gonna overline. So look how far from my lip line that goes. All right. Now I have a lot of viewers who will say things like, don't overline, that looks horrible, whatever. You know what I always say? This is the channel of no rules, for one. For two, if it makes you feel pretty, wear it. For three, don't tell me what to do. I'm gonna do the overline because I love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and have it connect the outer corners. Now taking your time on this is worth it. Okay, you can see I did several passes. That's because I want to get a good amount of this product built up. Let me switch my mirrors. I feel like I'm just looking way too close up right now. Now let's do the top. Roll it up just a little bit more. Easy, easy with this step. See what I'm doing with my lips? Several layers. Now, it's still kind of crooked at this point. Don't worry about getting it perfect with your first pass and your first shade, because we're gonna go in and create some great definition with that harder, pointier, nude lip liner. So trust me, trust this process. You're gonna love it if you just take the time to practice it and ace it. Here we go. And this is where you can go in harder and get it through those lines. If you've got any speed bumps, get in there, girl. And this is where you can bring it up and start to go over a little bit more. That looks good, and I softened out the point. You can do a little more like a prominent point if you like, but I like to keep it a little rounded. Several passes. That buildup is really gonna make it bulletproof, okay? Now I'm gonna go in the middle a little bit more, especially in the outer corners. Softening it up. And you saw when I was doing the pink, that I brought it in quite a bit. So it wasn't just a line, you know, I came down almost all the way in my lips. So I've got a good barrier going on there. Ain't nothing getting past that. All right. So now at this point, you can do a lip stain if you like, and then go back over it with a lipstick for moisture. You can do a regular lipstick if you like, whatever you prefer at this point. This is really going to help like weatherproof your lips. I'm going to go in with that pink shade that I use all the time. Pink, the perfect fit. Just, I love the way it looks in the middle of this particular combo. I like it lighter, but you know, if you want it to match a little bit better, that's okay. I just prefer lighter in the middle. And I blend it out towards the lip line. And really diffuse it. Don't worry if it's perfect, because I'm going to gloss it now too. I'm going to use a really nice shiny pink gloss, but you can use a clear one at this point. You can use one that matches perfectly, whatever you prefer. And you don't have to gloss if you don't want to. And I'm keeping the gloss on the insides as well. I'm not bringing the gloss all the way to the outside of that line, because keeping it inside is like, you know, that lip liner is like a dam. Like, it keeps all of that in there. You guys, this morning when I came in, setting up the usual, blasting some music here in the beauty bar, I was dancing. I had like an 80s kick going on right now, and I was dancing to that song, I'm hooked on you. Whoa. And I was just like, I was busting a hardcore move in here. I was like, getting down with my bad self, right? Trying to get my brushes together. Took me forever because the song was so good, but it reminded me of how that song made me feel when I was in high school. And there was this boy that I loved so much. And I was like, I am hooked on you. I was so hooked on him. Do you guys remember that like crazy, desperate love feeling? Did you ever have that? And I was like, oh, I'm hooked on him. And now I'm just laughing at myself because I ain't hooked on nothing but maybe like a good coffee and devotional time with Jesus in the morning, and probably some cheesecake. I mean, I sure love me some Mr. Alves, but I don't know that I'm necessarily hooked on him. All right, so I hope that you give this lip liner kind of new technique a try. I know you've probably seen me do it on a smaller scale, but I wanted to get really in depth with you guys. So let's hit some setting spray. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and use, ooh, I almost forgot. I got a new setting spray from my friends over at LimeLife, and this is an oil-free setting spray. So, nice lightweight mist. Get dramatic. You might as well be, because you've got a dramatic eyeline, dramatic lip line, all the drama, all the lines. That you guys, I am ready to get toasted. I am ready, and I don't mean I drink anymore. I mean, I'm gonna get roasted on YouTube. I know they are gonna come after me on Facebook, on my shorts when they see this video, and they're gonna be like, oh, your black line is crooked and your lip line is overdone or whatever. And I'm like, bring it, because I know my girls, my subscribers, my friends out there, I know that you love it. And I know you're gonna give it a try. So let's get this hair done, and let's bring some earrings in and see how this look turned out. All right, so just brushing out them crazy crunchy curls I had going on. I'm gonna get myself with this air horn. This hairspray always reminds me of a big fat air horn. But it's pretty stiff stuff. We are doing a little traveling today. Me and Mr. Alves are hitting the road as usual. So I still want to look nice when I get where I'm going. You know what? I'm actually going to check it out with my glasses today. Let's see what you think. What I think. Oh, I got a little bit of an 80s wave working here. Yes. Not quite high enough to be an 80s wave, but you know, it's a baby wave. All right, a little bit of frizz never hurt anybody. Praise the Lord, because I got some frizz working. Yeah, this is cute. And I like these earrings. What do you guys think? All right, you guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think in the comments. And please know that I love and appreciate you so much. I hope you give this a try, you guys. I gave you so many great things, great ways to make your makeup last. Try new things. Let me do a teeth check. Yes, I love it. Don't forget to check out my members only area too. You guys, almost forgot to mention that you can join that area for only $2.99 a month and come hang out with us and have a little extra fun. So enjoy the rest of your day. I hope that you have beautiful wings and fabulous lips, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.